Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Learn and Talk podcast. Today's episode is all about productivity and learning English at the same time. Our topic is how to be productive every day, and this lesson is designed to help you improve your English fast while also improving your daily habits.
That's right, Emma. Productivity is not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, and English learners need that mindset too. If you want real-life English, modern expressions, and useful grammar, this episode is for you.
Before we begin, we have a quick request. If you enjoy learning English through real conversation, please like this video and leave a comment below. Tell us what productivity means to you.
Your comments help us understand your goals and help this channel grow. They also motivate us to create more high-quality lessons just like this one.
Today, you will hear clear questions, detailed answers, and practical examples that you can use immediately in your daily life.
So stay with us, listen carefully, and let's start learning how to be productive every single day in English.
Daniel, many people say they want to be productive, but they are not sure what productivity really means. Some people think productivity is working all day without rest, while others think it means finishing tasks quickly. For English learners, productivity is even more confusing because they want to improve their language skills while managing work, family, and personal life. So my question is this: what does being productive every day truly mean, especially for someone who is learning English? I would like you to explain productivity using clear examples and modern English expressions such as manage time, focus on priorities, and work efficiently. Please also explain useful grammar structures, such as the present simple for daily routines and adverbs of frequency like usually, often, and rarely. Many learners also feel guilty when they are not productive. They say things like, "I wasted my day," or "I didn't do enough." Can you explain how learners can talk about productivity in a healthy way without negative self-talk? So, Daniel, how should English learners define productivity in a realistic and effective way?
Emma, this is an excellent question because productivity is often misunderstood. Being productive every day does not mean doing everything. It means doing the right things consistently. In English, we often describe daily habits using the present simple tense, such as I study English every morning or I plan my tasks at night. These sentences show routine, which is the foundation of productivity. Productivity starts with managing time and focusing on priorities. For example, instead of saying, "I work all day," a productive person might say, "I focus on my most important tasks first." This sentence shows intention and clarity. Expressions like work efficiently and use time wisely are modern phrases that describe smart productivity, not exhaustion. Adverbs of frequency are also useful here. Learners can say, "I usually review vocabulary in the morning," "I often listen to podcasts," or "I rarely study without a plan." These structures help learners analyze their habits and understand where they can improve. Many learners feel guilty when they are not productive, and they use negative self-talk. Sentences like "I wasted my day" or "I am lazy" are harmful. A healthier way to speak is to say, "Today was less productive, but tomorrow I will improve." This sentence uses balance and hope. The future tense will help learners express intention without self-criticism. Another important idea is realistic productivity. A learner who studies for 15 focus minutes is more productive than someone who studies for 2 hours without attention. Learners can express this with phrases like "I studied for a short time, but I stayed focused." This sentence highlights quality over quantity. Productivity also includes rest. You can say, "I take breaks to recharge," or "I rest so that I can focus better later." Using "so that" shows purpose and connects rest to productivity. Finally, productivity should support long-term growth. Learners can use the present perfect to reflect on progress, such as "I have improved my listening skills" or "I have built a study routine." These structures help learners see results over time. In short, productivity means clarity, consistency, and self-respect. When learners describe their habits positively and realistically, they become more productive and more confident in English.
Daniel, another common problem is distraction. Many learners say they want to be productive, but their phones, social media, or daily stress constantly interrupt them. They start studying English, but after a few minutes, they lose focus. So my question is, how can someone stay productive in a world full of distractions? I want you to include practical expressions like avoid distractions, stay focused, set clear goals, and build concentration. Please also explain grammar points related to giving advice, such as using modal verbs like should, must, and can. These structures are very helpful for learners who want to give or receive advice in English. Additionally, many learners feel frustrated when they lose focus. They say things like, "I cannot concentrate," or "I get distracted easily." Can you explain how learners can talk about this problem clearly and confidently? Finally, please explain how small habits and simple routines can protect productivity and help learners stay focused every day.
Emma, distraction is one of the biggest enemies of productivity today. The first step is awareness. Learners need to recognize what distracts them. They can say, "I get distracted by my phone," or "I lose focus when I multitask." These sentences use the present simple to describe repeated problems. When giving advice, modal verbs are essential. For example, you should create a quiet study space, you must limit social media during study time, and you can use timers to stay focused. Each modal verb has a different strength. Must shows necessity, should shows recommendation, and can shows possibility. Setting clear goals is another powerful strategy. Instead of saying, "I will study English," a learner can say, "I will learn 5 new words today." This specific goal increases focus. Using the future simple with will creates commitment. To avoid distractions, learners can build concentration through small habits. For example, "I study for 20 minutes, then take a short break." This technique helps maintain attention. The phrase "stay focused" is often used as encouragement, while "build concentration" describes long-term improvement. Learners often say, "I cannot concentrate." This sentence is useful, but it can be improved by adding context, such as "I cannot concentrate when I'm tired," or "I find it hard to focus after work." The structure "find it hard to" is very common in natural English. Routines also protect productivity. A learner might say, "I always study at the same time," or "I usually turn off notifications." These habits reduce decision-making and save mental energy. Another helpful structure is the first conditional. For example, "If I remove distractions, I will be more productive." This grammar structure shows real cause and effect and is perfect for productivity advice. Finally, learners should forgive themselves for losing focus sometimes. Productivity is a skill, not a personality trait. When learners say, "I am improving my focus," they use the present continuous to show progress. By controlling distractions, setting goals, and using supportive language, learners can stay productive and confident every day.
Daniel, for our final question, I want to talk about long-term productivity. Many learners start strong but lose momentum after a few weeks. They feel motivated at first, but later they become tired or bored. So my question is, how can someone stay productive every day for the long term, not just for a short period? Please include useful phrases such as build consistency, stay committed, long-term goals, and daily discipline. I also want you to explain grammar related to future plans such as be going to and will, because learners often use these forms when talking about productivity goals. Additionally, please explain how learners can measure progress and stay encouraged even when improvement feels slow. So, Daniel, how can English learners build productivity habits that last for months and years?
Long-term productivity, Emma, is built on consistency, not motivation. Motivation changes, but habits stay. When learners talk about future plans, they often use be going to or will. For example, "I am going to study English every day," or "I will follow my routine even when I feel tired." These forms show intention and determination. To build consistency, learners must create small daily habits. Productivity does not mean doing a lot. It means doing a little every day. A useful phrase is daily discipline, which means showing up even when you do not feel inspired. Staying committed also requires realistic expectations. Learners can say, "My goal is progress, not perfection." This mindset reduces pressure. Another helpful expression is long-term goals, such as becoming fluent or improving confidence. Tracking progress is essential. Learners can use the present perfect to describe achievements, such as "I have studied consistently this month," or "I have improved my speaking skills." This grammar structure connects past effort to present results. When progress feels slow, learners should focus on consistency. They can say, "I am building a habit," or "I am becoming more productive." These sentences use the present continuous to show development. Finally, productivity should support life, not control it. Rest, balance, and reflection are part of productivity. Learners can say, I rest so that I can stay productive. This shows healthy thinking. In the long run, productivity is about identity. When learners say, I am a productive learner, they are not just describing actions, they are defining who they are. That mindset creates lasting success in both English and daily life.
Daniel, many English learners try to be productive, but they often feel overwhelmed by long to-do lists and unrealistic expectations. They start the day with good intentions, but after seeing everything they need to do, they feel stressed and lose motivation. Some learners even say things like, I don't know where to start, or I feel overwhelmed by my tasks. So my question is this: how can someone stay productive without feeling overwhelmed? I would like you to explain how learners can organize their tasks using expressions such as prioritize tasks, break tasks into smaller steps, and focus on one thing at a time. These are very modern and useful phrases. Please also explain grammar structures related to sequencing, such as first, then, after that, and finally, because these words help learners explain plans clearly. In addition, can you explain how mindset affects productivity? Many learners think being busy means being productive, but that is not always true. How can learners talk about productivity calmly and clearly instead of feeling stressed all the time?
Emma, feeling overwhelmed is very common, especially in today's fast-paced world. The key to staying productive without stress is clarity. When learners see a long list of tasks, their brain feels pressure and productivity drops. That is why prioritizing tasks is essential. Instead of trying to do everything, learners should decide what matters most. They can say, I focus on my most important task first. This sentence uses the present simple to show a productive habit. Breaking tasks into smaller steps is another powerful strategy. A big task feels heavy, but small steps feel manageable. Learners can use sequencing words to explain this clearly. For example, first I review vocabulary, then I practice listening, after that I write a short paragraph, and finally I relax. These words help organize thoughts and actions in English and in real life. Another useful expression is focus on one thing at a time. Multitasking often feels productive, but it reduces concentration. Learners can say, I work better when I focus on one task. This sentence helps them describe their personal productivity style. Mindset also plays a major role. Many learners believe that being busy means being productive, but that is not true. Productivity is about results, not speed. Learners can express this with phrases like I work calmly and efficiently, or I choose quality over quantity. These expressions reflect a modern, healthy view of productivity. Grammar can also help learners reduce stress. When learners use the future tense clearly, they feel more organized. For example, I will complete this task today and I will do the rest tomorrow. This creates mental relief and realistic expectations. Another helpful structure is using modal verbs gently. Instead of saying I must do everything today, learners can say I should focus on one priority. This change in language reduces pressure and supports calm productivity. Finally, learners should practice positive reflection. At the end of the day, they can say, I completed what mattered most today. This sentence reinforces success instead of failure. In short, productivity without overwhelm comes from clarity, prioritization, and calm language. When learners organize their tasks and thoughts using English clearly, they become more confident, less stressed, and more productive every day.
Daniel, for our next question, I want to talk about productivity and energy. Many learners say they want to be productive, but they feel tired most of the time. They study English after work or school, and their energy is very low. They often say things like, I am too tired to focus, or I have no energy to study. So my question is, how can learners stay productive even when their energy is low? Please include useful expressions like manage energy, work smarter not harder, and take effective breaks. Also, explain grammar structures related to ability and difficulty, such as can, can't, and find it difficult to. These are very common in daily English. Additionally, can you explain how learners can choose the right type of activity based on their energy level? For example, listening versus speaking or reading versus writing. How can learners talk about this clearly in English?
Emma, this is a very realistic question because productivity depends more on energy than time. Many learners think they lack motivation, but in reality, they lack energy. That is why managing energy is more important than working longer hours. A useful phrase here is work smarter, not harder, which means using your energy wisely. Learners often say, I can't study when I am tired. This sentence uses the modal verb can't to express inability. Another common structure is find it difficult to, as in I find it difficult to focus at night. These grammar patterns help learners describe real challenges honestly. To stay productive with low energy, learners should match tasks to energy levels. For example, when energy is low, listening to an English podcast is easier than speaking or writing. Learners can say, I listen to English when I feel tired and I practice speaking when I have more energy. This shows smart planning. Taking effective breaks is also essential. A break is not wasting time, it is recharging energy. Learners can say, I take short breaks to stay productive. Using to shows purpose and connects rest with productivity. Another helpful habit is reducing mental pressure. When learners feel tired, they should lower expectations. Instead of saying, I must study for 1 hour, they can say, I will study for 10 minutes. This small step often leads to more progress. Grammar can also support motivation. The present continuous is useful for describing effort, such as I am doing my best today or I am staying consistent. These sentences show progress, not perfection. Learners should also listen to their body. Productivity does not mean ignoring tiredness. A healthy sentence is, I rest so that I can be productive tomorrow. This shows balance and long-term thinking. Finally, learners should celebrate small efforts. Even 5 minutes of study matters. They can say, I studied a little today, and that is enough. This positive self-talk supports both productivity and confidence. In conclusion, productivity with low energy is about smart choices, flexible habits, and supportive language. When learners manage their energy and describe their actions clearly in English, they build sustainable productivity and stronger language skills.
Daniel, many learners tell us that they know what they should do to be productive, but they still procrastinate. They delay tasks, avoid studying, and wait for the right moment. They often say things like, I will start tomorrow, I am not ready yet, or I don't feel motivated enough. So my question is, how can someone stop procrastinating and become productive every day? I would like you to explain procrastination in a simple and practical way using modern expressions such as put things off, take action, and start small. These phrases are very useful in daily English. Please also explain grammar structures related to future plans and excuses, such as will, going to, and conditional sentences like, if I start now, I will feel better later. Many learners feel guilty about procrastination, which makes the problem worse. Can you explain how learners can talk about procrastination without blaming themselves too harshly? So, Daniel, how can English learners overcome procrastination and build productive daily habits?
Emma, procrastination is one of the biggest obstacles to productivity, and it affects almost everyone. Procrastination does not mean laziness. It usually means fear, uncertainty, or lack of clarity. In English, we often describe procrastination with the phrase put things off. For example, I put off studying because I felt tired. This sentence helps learners explain their behavior without judgment. One of the most effective ways to stop procrastinating is to start small. Instead of planning a big task, learners should focus on the first simple step. For example, instead of saying, I am going to study English for 1 hour, they can say, I will open my notebook and review 1 page. This use of will shows immediate action, not future delay. Conditional sentences are also very helpful. For example, if I start now, I will feel more relaxed later. This first conditional structure shows a realistic future result and helps learners connect action with positive outcomes. Another useful strategy is reducing emotional pressure. Many learners feel guilty and say things like I am bad at discipline or I always fail. These sentences damage motivation. A healthier approach is to say, I am learning to take action or I am improving my habits. Using the present continuous shows progress, not failure. Taking action creates motivation, not the other way around. Learners often wait to feel motivated, but productivity works differently. When learners say, I take action even when I don't feel motivated. They describe a powerful habit. Time limits are also helpful. Learners can say, I will study for 5 minutes. This small commitment reduces resistance. Often, once learners begin, they continue naturally. Grammar also supports productivity thinking. The structure be going to is often used for vague plans, such as I am going to start tomorrow. But productive learners use will for immediate decisions, such as I will start now. Teaching learners this difference helps them change behavior through language. Finally, learners should forgive themselves. Procrastination is part of learning. When learners say, today was not perfect, but I took one step forward, they build resilience. In summary, overcoming procrastination requires small actions, kind language, and clear structure. When learners stop waiting for motivation and start using English to describe action, productivity becomes natural and consistent.
Daniel, for our final question in this section, I want to talk about productivity and confidence. Many learners say they struggle to be productive because they do not believe in themselves. They think they are not smart enough, fast enough, or disciplined enough. This lack of confidence affects both their English learning and their daily productivity. So my question is, how can learners build confidence through productivity and use English to support that confidence? Please include useful expressions such as believe in yourself, build confidence step by step, and trust the process. Also, explain grammar structures related to self-expression, such as positive statements using the present simple and present perfect, like I am capable and I have improved. Many learners underestimate their progress. Can you explain how they can talk about improvement clearly and positively in English? So, Daniel, how can productivity and confidence grow together in daily life?
Emma, productivity and confidence are deeply connected. Confidence does not come first, it grows through action. When learners complete small tasks, they start believing in themselves. That is why the phrase build confidence step by step is so important. Confidence is not sudden, it is gradual. In English, positive self-statements are powerful. Using the present simple, learners can say, I am capable, I am learning, and I am disciplined. These sentences describe identity, not temporary feelings. When learners repeat them, they begin to believe them. The present perfect is also very useful for confidence. Learners can say, I have improved my listening skills, I have studied consistently, or I have built better habits. This grammar structure connects past effort to present confidence. It reminds learners that progress exists, even if it feels slow. Believing in yourself also means trusting the process. Learners often want fast results, but productivity works slowly. A helpful sentence is, I trust the process. This expression shows patience and emotional maturity. Another important strategy is tracking success. When learners write down what they completed each day, their confidence grows. They can say, today I completed my task or I stayed focused longer than yesterday. These comparative forms help learners see improvement clearly. Language shapes mindset. When learners say, I can't do this, productivity drops. But when they change the sentence to, I am learning how to do this, motivation increases. This small grammar shift changes emotional response. Confidence also grows when learners stop comparing themselves to others. They should say, I focus on my progress, not others. This sentence reinforces independence and self-respect. Finally, confidence and productivity grow through repetition. Each productive day strengthens belief. Learners can say, every day I become more confident. This sentence uses the present simple with every day to show ongoing growth. In conclusion, productivity builds confidence, and confidence supports productivity. When learners use English to describe their growth positively and accurately, they develop strong habits, strong language skills, and strong self-belief.